Ready? Okay, welcome everybody. I'll call our regular public council meeting for Monday, December 16th, 2019 to order. New business. Councillor Glant.
Just thanks.
Councillor Pollard.
Pass.
Councillor Roach.
Pass.
Councillor Martin.
Thanks.
Councillor Deputy Mayor.
Thank you.
And I have thanks.
Just for a second, we can.
All right, is there anybody in the gallery who would like to get on the first Q&A session? Okay, seeing none. Motion to adopt agenda as amended, please.
So moved.
Second.
Seconder, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. We have a set of minutes here from December 2nd, public council meeting. Any errors or omissions? See none, motion to adopt, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Proclamations, we have none. Presentations, we have none. Questions and answer, we have none. Mayor's report, quickly. I will just go run quickly through this stuff. Wednesday, December 4th, we had our seniors' Christmas party. And was well attended. And the feedback I got from those that were in attendance, they really enjoyed it. And it was yet another first in our new building. So thank you to all who came and participated, and to the residents who came out. Then on Friday, the 6th of December, we had our Giving Tree concert also at our new building in the multipurpose rooms, and that was a great time. The people really enjoyed it. John Curran and his friends who were excellent, and it was a great time had by all for a really good cause. So look forward to that next year. On the 7th, Torby Volunteer Fire Department had our special needs Christmas party, which was also well attended and and I think a very important event that we do, that the fire department has been doing now, I think, for 23 or 24 years. And I know that the parents and the children that were present really appreciate it. So look forward to that again next year. On the 9th of December, we had a committee meeting to discuss the budget. Thursday, the 12th, I was at North Pond Manor for the seniors' Christmas party up there, and had a good time up and had a few dances with the residents, and they had a really big crowd. And Fred Lee was playing there, and every year I go there, the last couple of years I've been there, I say, oh my God, I haven't seen Fred Lee since forever. But it was obviously the last year or so. Anyway, he's still in fine form. And on the 14th, attended the fire department Christmas party in Flat Rock, and that was well attended. And myself and Councillor Martin were there. It was a good time had by all. And with that, that was my week. Pretty good. Any questions or comments on any of that stuff? No? Good. Moving on. Business arising report. Anybody have any items on there that they would like to talk about? Oh, the report's getting big. Okay, seeing none, moving on. Correspondence. We have a correspondence here from Department of Municipal Affairs and Environment. Information circular about procurement policy and for professional services. So we'll forward that on to finance and admin. Another one, or it's the same one, just an attachment. Talk about procurement. Then we have a memo here from Municipal Assessment Agency. It's an update, and we will forward that one on to finance and admin as well. Don? Okay. All right. Moving on. Just a pretty light agenda tonight, so shouldn't be too long. Committee of the Whole minutes for December 9th. I would note that there's also a set of Committee of the Whole minutes for November 25th that Anne has, and she'll include them in the next Public Council package. So, these ones, any errors or omissions?
I'd like to ask a question on
Yeah.
the report back from the MAA.
Oh, okay.
I was just wondering if our town had applied for any funding from that program that they have.
We didn't, no. We had our econometry of the completeness, but the majority of municipalities are using their funding for.
Yeah, and I think we led,
We led the way.
yeah, and they were very successfully too. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Motion to adopt those minutes, please.
So moved.
Second.
Seconder, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Planning, Land Use and Development, there is no report for that. Admin and Finance, Councillor Pollard, take it away.
Thank you, Your Worship. We met on the 12th of December. Mayor Scott by phone and myself in person. Deputy Mayor was not able to attend, unfortunately, at that point in time, but we managed to circulate all the information, so I'm sure all our questions are answered before she even starts to ask any. We did the main centered around just trying to get the mandatories out of the way for this period of time, because we are spending a lot of time working on the budget and all the figures around that. So it's mainly going to be a focus on the invoicing. So I'll just get right to it. Payroll for the period November 28th through the 11th of December for 45 employees, total $93,159. Accounts payable for the period November 28th to the 11th for 27 invoices in the amount of $259,097 were processed. And the following invoices are necessary for approval, and they will total $420,828. Individually, they are A. Harvey and Company for the winter season road salt in the amount of $124,745.34. Ace Locksmithing, and there's 3 invoices here for 3 different buildings. $19,999.65 for Town Hall, $5,465.95 for Common Locks, and Upper Three Corner Pond Access, etc. was $8,383.50. Bercy Excavating and Development for demolition of the building that was on the property by the community center in the amount of $21,850. Century 2K Cabling for all the cabling and work that was done here in relation to here and the renovations for Town Hall in the amount of $23,879.75. CIBC Mellon for November pension contributions in the amount of $14,296.78. Commissionaires for November municipal enforcement, or at least half of it, in the amount of $5,152. Corporate Express Canada for the mats in the Town Hall in the amount of $5,424.31. Now, these aren't ordinary mats. These are 16 and 20 feet long, and there are a number of them, so it's not small mats by any stretch of the imagination. East Coast Trail Association, the annual contribution we make for trail maintenance in the amount of $5,000. Hickman Chevrolet Cadillac for the Public Works truck in the amount of $44,013.95. LSW Wear Parts, carbide cutting edges for the plows and everything for the winter in the amount of $10,350. Martin's Fire Safety for 3 sets of bunker gear from the fire department in the amount of $6,862.84. Newfoundland and Labrador Mobile Shelters, they were the folks who had the contract to do the repairs on the Upper Three Corner Pond building, and this is another progress payment in the amount of $65,792.87. Mandatory receiver general remittances for the period November 16th to the 30th in the amount of $20,928.36. Wajax equipment for repairs to a number of our loaders in the amount of $21,738.91. Wood Environment and Infrastructure Solutions, there are 2 invoices here, and they relate to the 2 projects that are on the go. One is the water treatment plant update in the amount of $5,917.90, and the wastewater treatment update in the amount of $11,025.97. And as I said, they all total $420,828. So moved.
Mover, seconder, any questions or comments?
Councillor,
Somebody? What's your name?
Exactly. Thank you. The invoice here for North Pond Water Treatment Plant update, the $5,917, what does that include? What is the work that's being done there? Just to,
I'll ask the AO to speak to that if she can.
if you could, please, thanks.
So that was the sampling and the training of staff to take the samples for North Pond.
Okay.
Yep.
So my understanding is that that's something that we are going to do go forward.
Correct.
Our staff is
Yes,
going to look
yep.
after that.
This is the tail end of, that should be probably the last payment for
Okay.
that study.
And for the wastewater treatment update, can you explain that one as well?
It's the same piece as well as that too. So it was the updating of the capital construction capital numbers that we were considering as part of the most recent infrastructure funding program, and also as well to sampling and the training of staff for proper procedures.
Thank you.
That's follow up for the wastewater regulations, right? The effluent regulations that we're trying to get bridging transition for.
The reason I asked the question, I just want to make sure that the public understands that the money that we're putting in here now for this stuff is money that's an investment for training so that our staff can carry out these duties for us go forward. That's the reason why I asked it. Thank you.
Certainly.
Thank you.
So ends my report, Your Worship.
We vote.
Hang on now, can we vote first?
Sorry.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
So ends my report, Your Worship.
Thank you, sir. Area 2, Economic Development Tourism, no report. Infrastructure Public Works. Back to you, Councillor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship. This is going to be a short one. We didn't meet, and we will have an update after we do later on, but for snow clearing season has started, and we have normal two-shift operation, 4 a.m. to 12 noon and 12 noon to 8 p.m. And the new Director of Public Works is meeting with staff to make sure it all goes well over the Christmas season and the holiday season and the snow season. So ends that report, Your Worship.
Oh, good, thank you. Any questions on any of that?
I have a quick question. Why was there no Economic Development Committee report?
What was the reason why we didn't meet?
Oh,
I wasn't able.
somebody couldn't make, and I couldn't make it, I was busy. I had a prior engagement, so I couldn't fill in. Set down.
But we are up and functioning and
Oh,
running.
yes,
with that,
yeah,
right?
absolutely, yeah. It was just one-off this time, and it was, there was another meeting too. I was going to go attend yours, but Councillor Roach was able to do it at the end, right? So, anyway, it worked out. Okay. With that, Recreation Community Services, Councillor Glenn.
All right, 1 second. Let me stand up for this, I guess. Page. Yeah, I got it. This one. Don't have my glasses here, right? So, okay. So, as the mayor just, those are way too strong for me, Tony. So we did meet the Recreation and Community Services Committee did meet on Thursday, November 12th. As the mayor just said, Councillor Roach actually was able to attend, and myself, Councillor Roach, and Director of Rec and Community Services were in attendance. The items we discussed, first and foremost, were the fee schedule for Torbay Common. Committee discussed the current fee schedule, and basically the staff came up with a couple of recommendations, and I'm actually they're attached for everyone's consideration, and I'm really actually quite proud to put this forward. I think it's a really good step forward for all the things that our common stands for. To kind of summarize here for the folks at home and in the gallery, we're basically changing a couple of labels. Basically, we're changing Torbay Youth Group to Nonprofit Youth Group. We're changing Torbay Adult Fee to General Fee, and removing the quote-unquote individual charts. And you can see it before and after are in your notes. And basically, we're going to change the fee schedule to reflect the following in the gym costs. Very similar. We're basically changing the Torbay Youth Group to Nonprofit Youth Group, and we're changing Torbay adult group to general fee, and we're removing the individual charts. And it's a much more streamlined and efficient way of doing it, I think, but I can speak to that when I actually put forward a motion, I guess. So I'd like to move that the new fee structure be adopted as presented.
Second.
Mover and seconder.
And just to speak to it, as you can see here, before we had a fairly complicated formula for doing things. And I'd like to point out, like, none of the fee structures recommended from the consultant are going to remain the same. So we don't expect any revenue hit with regards to this. But we did have basically a resident and a non-resident category for if you wanted to book a room or book the gym or something like that. And of course, there's ways around it. So if you're going to book the gym and you're from Pooch Cove and you're going to book it, it's going to cost you $60. That way, you're going to call up and say where you're from. It's going to cost you extra. You have to go call someone from your group, and then they're going to get someone from Torbay, and they'll call and they'll book it under their name, and this doesn't make much sense, right? And I don't think the staff, or I certainly don't have the appetite. I don't want to be checking people's ID to see whether you're from Pooch Cove or Flat Rock or Outer Cove to charge you an extra $6 on booking a room or something like that. And so this is actually, and the staff was actually finding it fairly confusing and stuff like that, and felt a bit uncomfortable kind of asking, I guess, questions like that for where are you from and all that. So this basically takes care of, and if we find it confusing at our staff level, imagine how confusing it is for people when they go to our website to try to book this. So this actually makes it much more streamlined. So we basically have Torbay or youth group, right? Nonprofit youth group. We've got just a general fee, and then we basically have a Torbay registered business and a non-Torbay registered business. We want to keep that just to make sure, in case we ever do have, if Natty wanted to come here and book our thing, we're going to charge them an extra $20. It's fine, right? But we want to make sure that Torbay registered business had a slight discount when it came to that. But as far as individuals go, it's going to basically be a general fee for everybody, and then for a youth group, it's going to be a general fee for the youth group. And if anyone has any questions with that, I'd be glad to answer them.
I have one.
Sure.
Is this also going to apply to our registration for our activities? Because normally we give residents the opportunity to avail of our programs and services prior to anyone else outside. So does this transfer over to that as well?
Yeah, so, because again, I think the point of having, resident versus non-resident differentiation is not to try to exclude anyone. It's just for making sure that we get if any resident wants to have get into a program, that they kind of get first crack at it, because we want to fill it up. So as per the community guide, what we do is we have basically an early bird special for residents. So we open up to residents for a week beforehand, then afterwards we'll do the general admission, right? So with that, when it comes to that, I think everyone was okay, versus, hey, we're going to charge you, because everyone kind of understands that. It's very palatable, I think. Give residents the first. You don't want a Torbay resident trying to go somewhere it's all sold out. But on the other hand, you don't want to go say, hey, you're from Flat Rock, so we're going to charge you an extra $4, right? So that's with regards to the programming. We're still going to keep the early bird stuff for residents, but when it comes to actually booking just a regular business with the common, we're going to go with just a flat fee for basically everyone.
So what I'm confused about, I guess, is it says here Torbay Youth Group and Torbay Adult Group. Is that stating that it's specific
No, I think
Torbay organizations only? Because a lot of our children are in regional organizations.
Exactly. So I'm going to cut you off there. I think you're looking at the wrong one. If you scroll down, you're looking at the current structure. If you look at page 70 of 78, then by right-hand corner, we actually eliminated that, because I agree with that was confusing. So we have nonprofit youth group, general fee, Torbay registered business, and then just regular business, right? Because you're right, because you could be, is Scouts a Torbay youth group? No, this is a general youth group. So we want to get rid of that definition.
So the concern here, the discussion around this when I was chair of that committee, was that we wanted to make sure that the taxpayers of Torbay, who are bearing the burden, the financial burden of the new facility, which is a multi-million-dollar facility, had first crack at using that facility, that the businesses and organizations had first opportunity. And I'm not against this, but I really think that we need to put some serious thought into, I agree with you, a lot of our children are in regional associations, my children as well. And it's important that those regional associations do have the ability to utilize that center. However, with what we're proposing here, somebody from another area altogether can come in, book the space, and if they get it before a member of our community or one of our community organizations comes looking for it, sorry, it's already gone. And I really feel strongly that it's very important. I run an organization that's in Torbay that's using that facility right now. I feel it's important to have that available and open to local organizations that are running business here, because we've had to in the past go to St. John's and get space. So we're asking parents to get up in the morning, go work your 7-8 hour shift, come back, get your child, get them to their activity. And that activity, if it's not in Torbay and it's out in St. John's again, you've got to factor in the time to get home, the 20 minutes to get home, pick up your child, get them sorted, another 20 minutes to go. You have to leave work early. There's all kinds of issues here. And the principle of what you're looking to achieve makes sense. However, I feel that the parameters of making sure that those community groups that are based here, the people who are paying the taxes to make sure that facility is available to the residents here, allow the residents and the people in our community to get the best bang for the buck and first opportunity to use that facility. So although I think it's a good idea, I'm going to have a hard time voting for this, because at the end of the day, if I'm paying for that community center and I'm unable to utilize it, and somebody from another community who's not bearing the financial burden of keeping that there is using it and I have no recourse, I'm not quite sure that that's in the best interest of our residents.
Sure. Just very quickly, what we're talking about now, and it never did exist, including when you were the chair of the committee, for first rights access to the gym or the rooms based on where you happen to reside or anything like that. This is not what we're talking about. We're actually talking about the fee structure, and I think the best way to protect the investment that we've all made into this facility is to make sure we don't push away business or interested groups to try to fill that building. The best way to protect our investment we made is to make sure that building is full and used and utilized, especially as we're kicking off the ground. And if we're going to, check IDs to see where you're from for an extra $10 for an extra couple of bucks, that's just going to drive people away. That's going to make that building less appealing. We want people from Flat Rock and people from Outer Cove, from all around to go use this as much as they possibly can. That's the best way to protect this investment. I'd rather have people feeling welcome and thinking this is the first option to go to. They're going to go there, and we've had feedback from users, and they're turned off by the fact that, hey, why am I getting charged an extra couple dollars? And this is the feedback that I got from staff, and this is the feedback I'm passing on to council. And if you want to propose some type of thing in the future where residents get first crack at stuff, or that'd be a bit of a slippery slope too, of course. If a non-resident has something booked, you're not going to kick them out for a resident, stuff like that. But I don't think that's a problem right now. I don't think we should try to necessarily create it. But the point now is just the fee structure. We're trying to simplify it so it's getting rid of the resident versus non-resident thing. So there's a whole different ball of wax. You want to propose something in the new year with regards to that, we certainly can listen to it. But with regards to the program, we still are keeping the early bird special. We don't have an early bird special type of thing when it comes to booking that room just yet, or booking the gym and stuff. I don't think that's an issue. I don't think it's going to be an issue. But like I said, we can cross that bridge when we come there.
If I could,
Is there any other questions?
Could I ask the committee to take that back for the next discussion on your agenda item, to look at how this is being used by what organizations, to make sure that our organizations get the first opportunity to use it? And when I was the chair of the committee, the idea of having that lower amount available to the taxpayer was so that they would be more likely to use that and have it accessible to them. And although it was $10, it's still the residents of Torbay who are paying to keep that facility operational and running, human resources, lights, the whole 9 yards. So that was the reason for
Yeah,
that.
I understand, and we're doing this specifically to protect that investment, to make sure that this is the place that everyone's welcome to.
Anybody else, any comments on it?
Yes, I'd like to add to what our chair is saying there.
Peggy, could you pull your microphone down a little
Sorry.
bit?
Yes, we discussed this.
Don't pull on it. That's good enough. Just pull it down.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, we discussed this in very good length, and it seems to me that the effort that we're trying to make now is going to be well advertised. And I guess like any place at all, it's whoever gets there first. But of course, we'd love to see everybody in our own town get there first. And therefore, like, you might have the early bird or whatever it's called. But to make it even across the board for everybody, we're not charging, because we did have a complaint about this. It was read to us by our director, and somebody was actually I think was turned away or something because they weren't from our community, and she was there with her child when this happened, this lady, and so that we don't want to see any child be turned away because of something that we're going to make too hard to follow. And I think if I went to town to the stadium or anything like that, I'd pay the same price as people in St. John's would. They don't ask me if I'm from Torbay or anything. That's what we're trying to do now, make it equal across the board. And therefore the common, is the name of it. And so anybody can go there for the same price. But the fact that, who comes there first or who gets there first, I guess it's all in the booking part. And anybody that's involved in sports, when your activities are coming up, so you make sure you book the room for that before a certain time.